We are recording.
Okay, great. I am going to say it is
1:58 p.m.
1:58 p.m. on Tuesday, February 17th. This is the meeting of the Brookline Commission on Disability Subcommittee for the annual report. And I will call the meeting to order. Then I will do a roll call vote of subcommittee members. Sarah Lynn Allaire
Here.
and Lynn Meachek.
Lynn?
Lynn?
Here. Can you hear me?
Oh, for a
Yep,
second you were frozen.
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
I didn't know. Okay.
you came through that time.
All
And
right.
also in attendance is the ADA coordinator, Sarah Kaplan.
Yes, but I will not be voting.
Okay. All right, great. But if you have time to stay, I'd appreciate it just to, if there's anything we
Yeah,
missed or
I'm
anything like
I'm
that.
pulling up the agenda now to make sure we're following the agenda. Just give me one
Okay.
second. Something. I hate when I touch things on my screen and other things just disappear. 1 second. I'm so sorry. Nope. The screen that I want is gone. Come on. You know you can. You know you want to. Um, Apparently not. I don't know what's happening. I'm having a hard time accessing my computer screen. Do you know do you have the agenda in front of you, Jim? I think it's
I
just a
don't, but
discussion.
it was pretty straightforward that we're going to review the minutes and come
Yeah,
up
I
with
know we
the
were going to review the minutes for the year of 2025. I don't know why, but I cannot access my Chrome right now. Give me a sec. I'm not going to shut you down. I'm just shutting down my
no.
Chrome.
Okay.
But let me ask you, do I have to do public comment at this meeting?
I mean, technically, I think public comments on the agenda, so we open and close. That's all we do.
Okay. So then I'm going to take this moment to open public comment.
There's
And
no one in the waiting room. There's no one in participants that is part of the public, so I believe we can close public comment.
then we will close public comment.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna move on, and if we pull up the agenda, and if it's different, we can always go back and check anything. But I'd rather just move on. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Um, so I just wanted to go over, we can do this right in order. I think that would be best. So I took January, February, March, and April. And the big items that jumped out there were I got to tell you, I was surprised because I knew that we had a meeting with the MBTA regarding the Fairbanks and Brandon Hall a while ago. That was actually February of 2025. So that
So it was that far back, or
that I didn't think it was that far back either, but that merger of those two stations goes back a ways. So that was one of the biggies. The other things were warrant articles 14 and 15 and 16. We did public hearings on those, which I think we have to have in there in the presentation. And then the other big sad item that clearly we need to discuss was the passing of Rob Heist. So those were the big ones that I saw on there, along with letters of support. I saw that we had written a letter of support for the Davis Path footbridge for William Smith to the geez, I forget the name of that department. They've changed the name of that department, but it was to Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, in hopes of
Mm.
getting some funds. So we wrote a letter of support there. What I did not see in January, February, or March, or April for that matter, was any variances.
There
So
weren't very many variances this year.
yeah, so I haven't got anything there. So with that, I'm gonna ask Sarah Lynn did send me her notes, but I'll ask Sarah Lynn to talk about what she found on there.
Well, I send you everything, so I
Yeah.
looked over which would be the 3 or 4 most important. I think one is the library display on the wheelchair repair bill.
Yeah,
And you might broaden that because you wrote a couple of state level support letters.
yeah,
And so you might combine that into advocacy at the state level
okay,
and include the wheelchair repair display at the library as well as your letters of support.
okay,
That would
great.
be one. And the second would be um, the accessible parking establishment of the accessible parking subcommittee to review that and look at it,
Yeah,
evaluate it.
yeah,
I think that's an important thing.
absolutely. I think that's one of the biggies, actually. So I think
Yeah,
that's a good,
yes, right.
good presentation.
And
I'm
then,
not sure, I'm not sure I'm gonna go through the results with them at that point because I won't have an opportunity to present it to the BCOD at that point.
right, right.
But definitely I'm gonna let them, what I'll do is I'll let them know that a report is in the making and will be submitted soon. And that, and the fact that we went out multiple times during the summer and fall, spring, summer and fall and did this evaluation. So,
Okay, the next item would be the scholarship.
yes,
Several people attended that scholarship night at the high school.
yes, yeah. And so I can put that in there as well. I think that we had um that was part of I'd have to take a look at last year's, but I'm sure that we had the scholarships in there for last year. But yeah, I will add that in there. I feel that that's important as well.
And then I have a note about the MBTA plan for updating the accessibility of the Sea Line stations from August to. And
Yeah,
so we reviewed probably maybe the whole thing then, and we provided suggestions for them, some of which they actually listened to and took, and did.
yeah,
So I think it was very helpful to the commission, to the MBTA.
okay.
So I think those are my 4 items.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Sarah Lynn, do you recall what the issues were that we gave to the MBTA by any chance?
Uh, I don't have them written down here. I'd have to go back
Okay,
and look,
that's okay.
but I can
I,
let you know.
yeah, if you could just, and what I'd do is I would use those as talking points when I actually present,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because what I'd like to do is expand upon this stuff. I was looking at last year's, last year's presentation and, it was only like 13 slides, but I spoke for about a minute on each slide, so I put together the notes and everything of what I'm going to say and make sure that those align with what's on the slide, but I like to keep it um, as informative as I can, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you do take a look at that and send that to me, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay. And then Lynn,
So sorry I
I
didn't send them to you. I was going to ask you what, just was my first time doing this, but we did have a variance in one of these months. It was regarding 1026 Commonwealth Avenue that I think
okay.
ended up, it was regarding the upstairs that was inaccessible. They were going to install a lift, but the lift
Yeah,
impeded on the space for the handicap accessible bathroom.
that's correct.
And so what the decision, we were in support, there was some accessible seating downstairs, but we didn't want the variance. We would have approved a variance, but I guess they took it off the table. So I don't know whatever happened to that property because I think it came up another time later and we never had to
Um,
run it again. So I don't know what happened to that.
well, actually, I do know what happened to it. So, and I can talk about that variance. I don't when I present to the select board, I'll mention the variance and I'll take a look and see if we have any of the variances. I couldn't find any.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was,
it's the only one that I recall.
I think there was only one this year. I
Mhm.
really
Okay.
do.
and,
So,
yeah, I think we were supporting, go ahead and not have the space upstairs as long as we had a handicap accessible bathroom and some space
yeah,
downstairs for people with disabilities.
and then somebody requested a public hearing on that, which was put off till April.
Mhm.
But then what happened was the owner resubmitted drawings showing that the entire first floor was going to be accessible. And that objection was withdrawn. So that variance was ultimately granted.
Okay, so they asked us to comment on that. And then we did have warrant article 13 to comment on regarding it's the resolution regarding consideration of the needs of the older adult population in decisions on the Fisher Hill property.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that was, and then just, there was different comments on it about, it was, again, the petitioners were concerned about the needs for seniors not being considered. There was also about the community center that meets the needs of seniors in Brookline. So it was kind of maybe some conflicting things. And then, like Henry suggested, adding people with disabilities to the text of the warrant article to broaden the base of support. But they were unsure how to make these changes.
So his suggestion was not, they didn't do anything.
No,
They didn't make any changes.
Did
yeah,
we? So I just want to be clear because when I do this, I don't want to make any mistakes. We did warrant article 14, 15, and 16 in May.
Yes.
And then we did warrant article 13 in November. Is that correct?
it was October.
October.
Yeah, and I think there was a
But
motion.
it was the November meeting though.
Oh, okay. So there was we made the
It
motion.
was the November town meeting. I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking our meeting.
Yeah.
That we made the motion in support of Article 13.
Yeah.
You asked the commission for permission to write a letter in support of this article. And that was what it was. So
Okay.
that was the only warrant article that I saw in those 3 months.
Okay.
And then the other things that stood out for me were, how other commissions reach out to us for our, to bring their plans to our commission for advice and support. So there was the Hay School Safety Improvement Project. And we wrote a letter in support that they were going to add some, the handicap parking was going to be in the back, plus the student van drop off was going to be made more accessible. And so those were, so that was just it
Okay.
was a long, it was about speed bumps and it was about crosswalks and safety for in the school area. And it was a long presentation, if I recall. And
It was very long.
yeah, so that was, and we did write a letter of support to the transportation board with our recommendations regarding the 5 accessible parking spots.
Yeah. Because yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to go on to the next one, but we'll
Go
finish.
right ahead. No, please.
So the Walnut High Apartments, so the Brookline Housing Authority, the Brookline Housing Authority presented us regarding the removal of the trees to make fully accessible sidewalks. And you wrote a letter in support that yes, the tree removal was, we supported that so that the sidewalks were fully accessible. And then so that was the other that reached out to us. And then Hugh Mattison from the MBTA Fenway Path Phase 3 multi-use path at Yawkey Way.
Yeah.
With support for safety and accessibility. And so that was, I'd kind of forgotten about that one too, about Yawkey Way.
Did he ever, he came to one meeting and then you told him to come back when he had a specific plan, I think. Did he ever come back?
No.
No, I don't think so. I did write the letter to the MBTA.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, to him. Yeah.
And that was submitted by me to the MBTA.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so that was,
I would just be careful about how many tree removal things you want to mention.
Well, this was just the one for
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah,
big,
but there's also the MBTA.
oh,
Well, I'm not
oh,
gonna,
yeah.
I'm not gonna mention that. I don't plan to uh get into those kind of details. Like I'll say that we supported, like that one that Lynn just mentioned. I will say that we uh supported the improvements of the sidewalk
Mhm.
without getting into too much tree removal.
Oh, yeah, cause some
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah, as well as like Fairbanks and Brandon Hall, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but there was something else in there that triggered my
So I
memory.
just want to make sure you know, Jim, and the commission knows that warrant article 14 and 15 regarding reasonable accommodations as they relate to zoning
Yeah,
passed exactly as the petitioner put it in. So there was a
mhm,
version of it written by the town, and there was a
yeah,
version of it written by the petitioner, and the uh, petitioner's, uh, for like original bylaw was the one that passed, not the town.
okay, okay,
And
well,
it was challenged at the state level up to the Attorney General, and we got approval on December 31st that the bylaw is legal and needs to go forward.
okay,
And what was that
okay,
again?
It's related to reasonable accommodations, related to zoning and housing.
yeah,
It's,
it was,
I'm not gonna, it's a very complicated warrant article.
but basically what it was, Sarah Lynn, was a process for somebody with a disability
Oh, yeah.
to make changes to their
Okay,
home.
I remember now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm sorry, Lynn,
Mhm.
you were saying something and it triggered something in my head, and I'm trying to remember what it was because now I'm thinking it was pretty important. And I
The HUMAT, the MBTA pathway? No.
no,
The
can back up.
high apartments, the Brookline Housing
No,
Authority.
no,
And then the other was the Hay School. Um, let me see. And then there was warrant article 13.
yeah,
That was all I thought I talked about. Let's see.
okay.
Let me see the fully accessible sidewalks. I just took notes.
Is that the school?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it hit with the speed bumps? No,
No, I wouldn't
no,
take on that.
no.
Okay.
Um,
Now the way my memory works, it'll pop back in eventually.
okay. And then some of the other things that stood out, we had the voting for chair, vice chair, and treasurer. I don't know if that's something you'd present to the
That,
select board.
actually that is a good thing because last year, if you can send me those notes, Lynn, I'd
Yes, I'll write
appreciate
them
it.
up as long as, because of these, if you think these are all important, so I'll send
Oh,
them.
they're very important.
Okay.
Because, but last year, at last year's meeting, last year's presentation, one of the things that I mentioned was to build a leadership team for the BCOD. So I want to make sure that that is in there, that we actually accomplish that,
Yeah.
you know?
It
And
was,
because that's when it came up. The select board wrote that handbook, and Sarah Lynn had that listed in the thing. I'm probably not gonna bring that up because I don't want the select board to know
Yeah, I
that we had.
wouldn't bring that money up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
as a result of that, we found
yeah, yeah. And but I do want to mention that we said last year we're going to build the leadership team, and we did get that done. So that'll be a good thing. So
that you
I'll make sure to
elected
mention that
chair.
too.
And,
Yeah.
And next year you can talk about all the things that the commission purchased using the HP Fine Fund
yeah,
without
That's
being specific about
yeah,
the money.
oh
yeah,
hell, definitely not. I'll never mention that.
no.
But okay.
and then
So
we,
this is good.
yeah,
Just
so
as
Um,
I just had a couple
Goya
more
does.
things, just a couple, one more, sorry. So the
yeah,
event planning subcommittee was discussed, and then I know we've carried that over to this year, but that was
yeah.
discussed regarding an event.
Hang on a second, because before I forget,
Mhm.
uh, Gateway Arts,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Gateway
yes,
Arts.
yeah.
But what did you
That's
do?
what I want to mention, because they needed another accessible parking spot.
Oh, yeah.
And at the trip, and they were going to talk to the transportation board, and we wrote a letter for them to get that thing.
Well,
So
it's also because they switched locations.
that's
So
right. That's right.
And also the
So,
handicap parking spot for St. Mary's Church.
yes. Yeah.
That a
I
woman,
don't know if that ever actually happened. I know that I forward
Well, it may not have happened yet, but it was approved.
it was, what do you mean? It was approved by the transportation board?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I would check with Brian Kane about that because I've not heard anything about placement of a new HP spot over there, but like, and I don't always hear about it, but typically, well, then again, our transportation person is gone now. So like Amy Ingalls is gone and
She's
Amy Ingalls.
gone.
oh yeah, she's been gone for like
Yeah.
since March.
Yeah.
So
She quit.
Wow, wow.
we are like, and they have not replaced her. The town has chosen to go in a different direction in terms of how they're handling transportation.
Oh,
Oh,
So
really? They're not going to fill her position?
I do not like th this is not my official statement.
Yeah.
This is my
Yeah. Yeah.
opinion.
Okay.
My opinion is that
Um,
I don't believe they're gonna fill that spot.
yeah, I am 99% sure that they approved the spot. There was the discussion on where it was going to go.
Mm.
And I agree with you. I don't think that it's been installed yet, but my understanding is it was approved. I'll reach out to Brian Kane or Nancy Moore and find out. But
So if you could do that, then I can check in with Dan Murphy and maybe I can get some answers about if they're planning on filling Amy's spot or like hiring someone to do Amy's job.
and if not,
okay,
who will do it?
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
it gonna
we'll
I
be
be,
don't
doing that.
have a reason to kind of bug Dan Murphy right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
give me a reason, Jim.
Okay, you got it.
and then the other thing that came up was again the treasurer like your update, Sarah Lynn, you updated us on, and we kind of had a brainstorming about
Yeah,
how to set priorities, regarding we the scholarship is given every spring to a
yeah.
graduating student, and just we were going to discuss brainstorming ideas. And then
No,
the other,
that's another item I'm not going to mention
oh, okay, but we do the
because only
scholarship,
because I don't want the select board to start licking their chops when they hear the money, you know?
yeah. But the scholarship is important. I think that we.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll definitely mention the scholarship for sure.
And then Sarah, that you were able to obtain the $50,000 grant for from MOD to install tactile plates along Beacon Street. So I thought
Yes.
Yeah,
that's really important that that was.
we can put that in there as well.
Mhm.
I would appreciate it. I think that
Yeah,
the select board should know that they have to approve accepting the money,
yeah,
but they do that there's this thing, sometimes they list a bunch of things and they'll approve them all in one motion. So they didn't
yes.
actually get to, talk about the fact that we accepted grant money.
Okay,
So those were the things that stood out to me.
great.
Okay, and I'll type it up now that which ones I should leave out regarding the.
You got
I'm
it.
like very like we're closer than ever to being done, but I'd like to not mention the transition plan until it's done at this point.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna ask you about that because that actually involved a lot of people
I
from the
know.
commission and
So I have a meeting this week with James Fouillot about the documents that have been created from all the interns, and some of them are spreadsheets and other things. And I have an intern now who will turn everything into a Word document if we need to, but I'd rather not have her redo all this work.
yeah, yeah.
So I want to make sure that the documents we are creating are accessible. And then we're going to focus on outreach to the community, and then and that outreach will include presentations to you and the select board.
Okay,
And it should be published.
all right, you got it.
do we mention
Um,
the ramp loaning program, or that's been mentioned before?
I wouldn't mention it because I can't give you a
yeah,
number of how many people used it this year. I can only tell you that I
and
spoke.
that's not new.
No,
Yeah.
that's old. Yeah, I know. But Jim was. I mean, I remember Jim telling me about
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
Okay, so let me ask a couple of questions just to get your feedback and thoughts on it, okay?
Mm.
Um, is it worth mentioning that we participated in Brookline Day?
It's minor. It's not one of your majors.
Yeah,
I would, I could say, the if you want to mention community outreach you've done related to the MBTA and and then general community outreach through Brookline Day and other similar events.
maybe just as a bullet point, you mean?
Yeah, I don't think it would be something you would discuss. I think it would
Yeah,
be something that maybe is on the one of the slides.
like community outreach.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay. The other thing is, there's a couple of things. Last year when we did it, I like your opinion on whether some of this stuff is worth repeating. We did do a brief history of the commission on the first slide, saying that I believe it was in 1983, the state said that we could do commissions on disabilities. And then there was a little bit of a history on the Brookline Commission on Disability. And I'm wondering if you think we should do that again or was once enough?
So there is at least one new select board member every year. So there's at least one person who hasn't heard this information before.
That's
I
a
think
good
it's good
point.
to remind
I was
people
just thinking,
too.
I was thinking that if there are new members.
There's a
And
new,
the reality is it's only one slide and it's a pretty quick intro.
I think people need to be reminded. A lot of them don't remember.
yeah,
And there is that one new member.
Yeah,
I would, because there is always two spots that are up for election every year, but it's often that one person is the habit is one person steps down and one person
yeah.
runs
And
for
there is
reelection.
I think the new gentleman is Michael Rubenstein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would talk about it. I would do an introduction quickly and then move on to other things, but it's
Okay,
a standard slide that I would leave if I were you.
okay. Now this is not a private thing, but it's just something I'd like your feedback on. I mean, obviously, as we did last year, I want to introduce all of the current members of the commission. And then we also talked about people who had left the commission and their replacements and stuff. Obviously, Mike Sandman resigned decided not to run for reelection. And um, uh, so he left the commission and was replaced by John Van Scoyac. That's a simple one. I'll definitely mention that as John's the current member from the select board. But Franklin Pineda Lopez left and just decided not to stay. I'm
Renew.
wondering, or renew. I'm wondering if it's even worth mentioning.
I wouldn't.
I think you could say that we will, a member, you don't need to use word like names. A member stepped down. We are currently looking to replace them. We haven't,
Yeah.
we've gotten at least one application and we've asked that you interview the person because that was something that recently happened.
Well, I'm not gonna ask them to do anything at that meeting.
Oh, no. Okay. I understand what you're saying.
And
But I think you can say a member stepped down and we're currently hoping to fill that position as quickly as possible.
yeah,
Wasn't Liz Schreier appointed this past year?
Liz filled Rob's spot.
so she was appointed this past
This
year.
year. So
Yeah,
just discuss change in membership.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. She
Two
was
people
appointed this
step
year.
down, two or three.
Yeah,
And then we have two step down, we have one replacement. Is that right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Well, we had one
Rob
step down,
passed away.
one person pass away,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
right.
But
Right,
that's a
right.
good point. As opposed to, I'm going to obviously give a full slide to Rob, um, and talk about, how he contributed a great deal and that we miss him and that he passed away this year.
Yeah,
But as far as Franklin goes, I won't mention his name. I'll just say we had
yeah,
another member step down, decide not to renew, and we're seeking the replacement and leave it at
yeah.
that.
And you got one new one.
Yep.
Yep. And then Liz Stryer.
Yeah.
You got it.
And,
Okay.
and Liz and John.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take today and tomorrow. I'm going to try to organize this, everything that we talked about, into a Word document. That's what I did last year. I take it and I put it into a Word document. And I say, this is going to be slide 1. These are going to be the bullets on slide 1. This is going to be slide 2, slide 3, and so on. And then when we meet on Thursday, we can go through that and make sure that we all agree that we've got all the information that we want. Did we miss anything? And then also, is this the stuff that we for sure want to discuss at that presentation? And
In
then
this
once we
order.
agree to that, I can send it off to my graphic artist. And I told him to be on call, and he only takes a few days, and he can put together the PowerPoint presentation. And then we can decide, like, sometime next week to get together. And I'd like to invite everybody, if possible, anybody that wants to attend from the commission.
Well, that would have to be a full meeting.
And what's the difference?
So the difference is because this is if you have members that could vote, they cannot appear as a member of the public. So you'd have to do a meeting of the commission if you want everyone there.
We'll just have them attend as a member of the public.
But they cannot do that, Sarah.
They can't?
They cannot. If you are legally able to vote as a member of the
So,
commission, you can't have more than a quorum of that commission at a subcommittee meeting. Or it is
okay,
a,
so let me ask you this here. Let me ask you this here then. Why couldn't we have a full commission meeting with the only
if you
item
want to
on
do
the,
if you want to do a meeting of the commission just to talk about the presentation, that's fine, but I just need to post the agenda and do everything we'd normally do.
Plus, you'd have to have a quorum, and I don't know.
I,
And then we'd
Yeah.
need a quorum.
yeah, I know. I'll tell you what, let me do this here. Let me to get a quorum, we need what, 5 people?
5.
Okay, let me do this here. After I get this thing together, after we meet on Thursday, and we have the whole outline laid down, what I'll do is I will ask people, we'll set a schedule for ourselves on the days that we can go. And then I will ask people if they can make it. If they can't, if we can be guaranteed quorum, then that's fine. I got to tell you the truth. The only reason I'm doing this is because, as members, I feel like they should get a look at it, before I present it.
When are you presenting?
It's supposed to be March 3rd.
Okay.
So that's 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay. I mean, here are 2 options. I have 2 options for you. You can, one, hold a separate meeting where all we put on this agenda is review of the presentation. We get a vote from the committee saying, or commission saying, yes, you can go ahead and present the presentation as is, or here are the changes we want. And then you would close that meeting unless there was like a variance or something else you wanted to discuss. But because the last big group meeting, we said the next meeting isn't until March 13th, because so this would be an extra meeting. It doesn't, an extra general meeting that wasn't announced. So that's my big concern, but you can do it. It just is atypical.
I think I'd just skip it. I don't
I
think
just, my
anybody will
concern is
have
that
a
if you
problem.
don't get a quorum and you only get 4,
Yeah. Something, Cyril, and I agree with you. Maybe,
I mean,
I mean,
you're the one that's responsible for writing the annual report. It doesn't say the committee has to all.
And the
one
sub,
day. Yeah, or anything, so,
and the full commission did agree that we'll be the subcommittee and do this.
yeah, right.
So, and they empowered the committee to do this for them.
Yeah,
The
okay,
only other person
I
I
buy
would,
that. I'll
the
buy
only
that.
other person who would, sorry. I would suggest inviting Henry because he's a member of the leadership team. And you can bring one more person into this room without it being an issue for, he can still be, and then he can attend as
That's it.
a member of the leadership team.
Okay,
That
I'll
would be
invite
the,
Henry.
yeah, invite Henry to the next meeting or the meeting after or whatever, but like that would be my only suggestion.
Yeah, no, that's legitimate. I'll do that. I'll make sure that I invite Henry.
Okay. And
Okay,
Jim, if you would like, I mean, you are welcome to hire your graphic designer guy to do this, but
yeah,
I am happy to help you put together the PowerPoint.
okay.
So if you want to do that on your own, that's fine. I'm not taking it away from you, but I don't want you to spend money you don't have to spend.
Nah, I'm paying the guy anyways, and he's, when he does this for me, he always does it at like half price because he knows that has nothing to do with the business, and we're doing it for people with disabilities, so he's pretty good.
All right, well, let me
So
know.
I don't mind that, uh, but I'll let you know. And what I'll do now is I'll start working on the outline so that we all know exactly the order of what's going to be presented and how it's going to be presented. And then we'll meet on Thursday. We'll go over that. And then if we all agree, we can move on to the actual production of the PowerPoint.
And Jim, I'm going to type this up right now and send it to you. Do I send it to all of you in archives or just?
No, I would send it to Jim and board archive only.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one you need to send it to. Okay.
All right, I'll send that out to you now. And I don't need to have much detail, just kind of the points. Is that enough for you or?
Unless you have a little detail in your head,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
helpful.
I've written out some details, so I just, they're not, it's brief, but.
That's fine, because like I said, some of this stuff I need not only the bullets, but actual what I'm going to say on that slide and what I'm going to discuss,
Okay.
So that would be helpful as well.
All right.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So folks, is there anything else?
Nope, I don't think
It-
so.
No, thank
Okay,
you for
great.
doing
So
this.
if not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. But
Mhm.
before I do that, I'm going to say next meeting is going to be uh, February
February 19th.
19th at 2 p.m. And then I will make a motion to adjourn.
All right, so I second it.
And Sarah Lynn
Approve, yep.
and Lynn Meachek
Yes.
and chair votes aye. So that'll be it. And I'll see you folks. I'll try to, when I get this thing done, I'll email it to you in advance so that you can take a look at it.
And then
And
could you
then
please email
then
it
be
to me so I can put it in as part of the public documents?
absolutely. I'll make sure you get it.
All right, and just for our notes, it's 2:37 p.m.
And okay, so it's 2:37 p.m. and this meeting has been adjourned. Thank you so much.
All right,
You're
thanks, Jim.
welcome.
Thanks,
Yep.
Sarah, and bye.
Thank you,
Okay,
everybody.